a few years ago where they said that there are 3 top fears that people have. Does anyone know what they are?
Public speaking.
Number 1, public speaking. Number 2?
Failure.
Failure. Oh, sorry, that's me all over, isn't it? Number 2 was walking into a room full of strangers. Number 3?
The wife.
Yeah, I'll give better. Death, funnily enough. So more people would rather be dead in a casket than actually at the wake or speaking in the wake, which I find really quite interesting. The great thing is that you've all done 2 of those things already. I'm not hoping that you're going to do the 3rd. We are all going to do it eventually. That's very good. That's a heckle. I wasn't expecting that, but I think that's the Black Country audience today. So that's okay. The weird thing was, at a networking event yesterday, I did actually do that pitch. I started off as 60 seconds. The lady next to me went, "Well, I died for 2 minutes." I was like, "Well, that's ruined my 60 seconds." But I think now there are 3 other fears which come out in the world. One is the fear of being cancelled. The second is the fear of being in a room with too many accountants. And the third is leaving the house knowing that your phone is only on 73%. These are real fears. The great thing is that when it comes to public speaking, it is a skill which you can learn and you can practice and you can get better at. Now, I've got a question for you. How many of you have been to an event and you've heard somebody speak and you've thought, "I am never getting that time back again"? Give me a show of hands. Keep your hand up if it was you who was speaking. Now, I'm not here to speak shame anyone. We've all heard 60 seconds today. Some of them are going to be brilliant, some of them are going to be less brilliant, and that's absolutely fine. But what I want to do today is I want to give you 3 tips which can help your speaking, and I want to give you 3 techniques which you can use before you're speaking as well. Would that be okay with you?
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
I was at an event in Leeds the other week and I had a guy turn up who was totally out of the Tony Robbins playbook. Who's heard of Tony Robbins? Big guy, American, huge hands, claps a lot, and he was going, "I want you to say hell yes," and people just went, "Yeah." He's like, "No, I want you to say hell yes," and then we just got really annoyed. But so, does anyone want to hear 3 tips and 3 techniques?
Yes.
Hell yeah, there we go, we've got it. Speaking is something which I've been doing now for many, many years, probably since I was in BNI, from 2016, but also got paid to speak from 2018, where I was asked to speak on stage and host an event. I love speaking, as you can probably tell, but I think that it is probably the best thing that you can do in your business. Yes, websites are wonderful, logos, copyright, and all of those things, they're really important. But unless you can stand up in front of an audience and you can articulate what you do as a business to someone so that they go, "I want to find out a little bit more," you're probably going to struggle a little bit. It is one of the things which really generates trust between people. I love it as an absolute technique, and if you are not using speaking as part of your business, please consider it, and hopefully after I finish you will have an idea of how to do that a little bit better. So, shall we do the first tip? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, thank you. There we go. So we've got 1 person in the audience, which is good as well. The first tip is to know your story. So every one of you will be doing what you do for some weird and wacky reason. Your origin story is the thing which is going to start to connect you with your audience. I was a nurse in a previous life. I looked great in a nurse's uniform. Stop it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I know which way this is going. And it's not the way anyone thinks. I was a nurse in a previous life, and I'd love to stand here and say, I became a nurse because I love caring for people. But that would be absolute bollocks. I became a nurse because it was a natural progression from the caring job I did, which I did because I failed at university, and because my mum was a nurse, and because they paid for the course. It was a logical step. I didn't choose to go in that direction. The other thing as well was there was quite a few ladies around, and I was 23. It made sense. But I'd love to tell you that it was because I cared for people, and it's not. Knowing your origin story, and everyone here will have a story about how they ended up doing what they did, and I bet you it's not as dull as you think it is. But one of the first things you can do with speaking is start to tell that story. How many of you have told that story on social media? 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. All of you could go out today and tell that story about how you're doing what you're doing. So that's tip number 1, your origin story. Tip number 2 is the story of your clients. Utility warehouse are usually very, very good at this. That sounds like I'm saying you weren't good at it today. That's tough. I tell you that. But usually when I hear someone from UW speak, they get up and they talk about the difference they've made to their clients. I can tell you all the things I do when I help people with speaking. I can talk through all the techniques. I can talk through all of the exercises we can do. I can talk through all the measurable bit. But what you're more interested in is what difference did it make to that person? The stories of your clients are what are going to get people to come and work with you. I'm working with a lovely lady at the moment who's a leadership coach. She has more coaching skill than I will ever have if I had 3 or 4 lifetimes. She works with organisations and teams, but what she's looking for is she's looking to be more confident, she's looking to be more authentic, and she's looking to connect with her audience better. She has so much coaching skill, but she's really struggling on how does she get that individual connection. So the work we've been doing has actually got her to the point that she will pick up her phone and do a video without makeup on, without worrying about the words that she's going to say, and without questioning her accent. She's from Birmingham, by the way, she's wonderful. Daisy, I'm from Birmingham as well. Easy
Hello.
Easy bow. But that level of confidence to just be able to pick the camera up and do a video and put it out there as part of her marketing and not worry about it. That is an amazing outcome from the work which we do. So if you've got stories about your clients, and I bet you, how many have got stories about your clients? Keep your arm up if you share them with people.
Or just don't put their names on it.
Pardon?
Just don't put their names on it.
Just don't put the names on it. It's interesting that, you know, if you've got a Joanna, you change it to John, which actually in the modern world probably does tend to happen now anyway, doesn't it? But that's a whole other story. But share the stories of your clients. Third tip, practice, practice, practice. How many of you practice your 60-second pitch for today? How many of you made it up as you came into the room today? Yeah. We talked about this yesterday, didn't we? We talked about making up. We were at an FSB event in Malvern yesterday, and we had about 10 different tables. And I know that my 60-second pitch evolved as I went through. It got much better. But it was really interesting to see how people's did and how they struggle with things. If you're not practicing your 60-second pitch, why not? Why aren't you spending some time, if you're going to a networking event, thinking about how you can develop that and how you can get it in 60 seconds, how you can get it in 45 seconds, how can you expand it so it's 5 minutes, or even, if you come to a non-league networking event, 10 minutes, which to be honest is the holy grail of speaking. I am so honoured to be here today, it's wonderful. Thanks mate, really appreciate it. Thanks Emma, really appreciate it. I don't think I can top this. See, you're laughing, no one else is laughing at the moment. It's amazing. But how can you practice that speech over and over again? How can you practice that 60 seconds? So if you are called to stand up at an event, boom, you've delivered it perfectly. Introduction, share your story, share a client's story, call to action at the end. What would that be worth to your business if you did that? Practice, practice, practice. How many of you go to networking events and see people, can I borrow your phone for that? Who stand up and they go, hi, I'm Dave. I work with business owners to help them speak with authenticity and confidence. If you want to know more, come and talk to me. Beautiful picture of kids. How many of you see that? If you're reading from your phone for a 60 seconds or from a piece of paper, I would argue, and it's going to sound cruel, that you probably don't know your business enough. There's definitely some work to do there. So 3 tips. Your story, client's story, practice, practice, practice. Shall we, before you all fall asleep with me, do 3 techniques? You up for that?
Hell yeah!
We've got it. Can I get you all, just put your chairs back a bit and just have a stand up for me? This is the interactive. With speaking, there is a lot of stuff which you see here. The words, me moving around the, I'm going to say stage. It's a very low stage, I probably won't fall off it. If you're doing a presentation, the slides you've got, those are the things that people see and hear, but it's the stuff which people feels which make the difference. How many of you have been to see a speech and you've come away and you've just gone, God, that's awful? Loads of people. How many of you have come away from a speech and gone, that felt amazing? We all know those speeches which really stand out. If you've been watching the farce going on with politics at the moment and all this kind of stuff going on, how do you feel when you listen to that? Not particularly great. Pardon? Say it's fine. Say for the microphone.
I should shoot them all.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We won't hold you to that, but we might be behind you. The seeing is one thing, seeing and hearing, but it's the stuff you feel. But part of the stuff which people don't see and hear is what you do as your preparation for speaking. You might have noticed me just wandering outside then having a little warm up, and we're going to do that now. We're going to warm up 3 things. We're going to warm up your body, we're going to warm up your face, and we're going to warm up your voice. Are you up for that?
Hell yeah!
One of these. So, let's start with body. Let's start. I'll pay you afterwards. So, just get your feet shoulder widths apart, nice and relaxed, shake your arms out a little bit, and just gently twist. Obviously, if you've got any back or neck issues, don't do anything.
Get a patch.
Get a patch. Get a patch. Which helps swingers as well, apparently. Right. John is the man if you're looking for swingers. Just kind of loosening off your body. Yeah, that's going to go on LinkedIn later, isn't it? Sorry, John. Okay, and then just give us a little shake out. I want you to do is take a breath in, and I want you to, and you've got to watch me to do this, I want you to move your shoulders up towards your ears, but you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. And then breathe out. Then again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you to just hold that up, turn around, look at everyone. Yeah, you look really foolish. That's like a really bad kind of Michael Jackson impression. Close to me. No, let's not do that. Okay, let's warm up your face. So, how many of you have been shocked by a window cleaner when you're in the shower?
Not many.
Just me then. Imagine the face you would pull if you've got one of those clear windows and you're 3 floors up and the window cleaner appears. What would your face look like? You'd be like,
hell yeah.
oh, this is what I'm doing. Yes. Give your address to someone, I'll find you a window cleaner. So, what I want you to do is I want you to pull your biggest scary face, like. Okay? And then what I want you to do is I want to pull your really kind of scrunched up face. You're like, I've just eaten a lemon face. And then go, lemon, scared. Lemon, scared. Lemon. Scared. This just starts to help to warm up your face a little bit as well. Because this is the muscle you speak, this is the thing you speak with. You speak from here. The movement helps you to kind of breathe and get your lungs moving. It gets your body moving for when you're speaking. Your voice changes when you do that. But the last thing is voice. So there are lots of exercises you can do. But the 2 I'm going to get you to do are, I'm going to get you to make a horse noise. So blow out 3 lips. You ready? Go on, he's ready. Go. 1, 2, 3, horse noise. You signed the waiver when you started eating the sandwiches. And the other one I want you to do is I want you to do the alphabet, but I don't want you to say it, I want you to hum it. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. I forgot now anyway. But you get the idea. Brilliant. Give yourself a round of applause. Have a sit down. So, as you can tell, I really like speaking. I love the craft of speaking. I love working on the speaking because for speaking does a number of things for me. It creates trust, it creates connection, and it creates presence. When you have a good speaker, and I'm not saying I am one by the way, but I will take LinkedIn testimonials later, you know when they've been present with you. You know when they've communicated with you. You know when they're doing something which is going to help you, because we've all been in a place where we've heard speakers where it's all about them. Speaking is one of the most amazing things you can do. And my invitation to you is if you want to have a chat about it, come and find me and I'll see how I can help you. Thank you very much. Oh, go.
What's with the face warm-up? Is that to make your pronunciation better? Is that the theory behind it?
So if you, okay, come stand up for me. Let's do it. Let's. You
I'm not actually that interested.
No, you just scrunch yourself up, like like you're really pissed off and depressed, like you're a non-league networking.
Like normal then, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. And just what I want you to do is just don't move your mouth very much. I want you to tell me how much fun you're having today.
Really pissed off.
Yeah. Okay. So come on, tell me. Come on. How much fun are you having today? You enjoying it? You enjoying non-league networking? It's great, isn't it?
I'm not really enjoying it right now, but
So, and they get a picture and put it online. So what I want you to do now is just bring your shoulders back a little bit. Okay, just bring yourself up, just open your mouth a little bit, Now tell me. That's great, yeah. He's a dentist. Your jaw isn't very flexible. How much fun are you having today?
Hell yeah!
But seriously, what it does is it loosens things off. It allows you to kind of pronounce, to enunciate. I am a Brummie. I'm a very proud Brummie. My mum's from Dudley. We don't talk about that. It's an awkward moment. But I know that when I use my words, I use my mouth, I enunciate, I pronounce. I know my Brummie accent drops. Now I don't mind that, but it means that you can be understood in a different way. So yeah, it's massively important. And I would say even for 60 seconds, just as you're walking in, just do those things. Move your shoulders around. Just recite the alphabet, hum it, do what you need to do. Sing along to your favourite. What's your favourite song?
Oh, difficult question.
No,
I
you
haven't
don't.
got one. Haven't got
You
one.
haven't got one. What would
Maybe it's got to be an Elvis track.
Cool. So we all need to hear an Elvis track now.
If I'm going to name it now. Honey Dream. I think it's that one.
Okay, so would you like to give us a rendition? But really, round of applause. Thank you. It's a really good question, and it may sound like overkill, but the number of times that I've been asked to speak at an event because somebody's seen me speak at an event, and I get most of my clients from speaking. So why wouldn't I want to make that opportunity the best possible? So yeah, it's a really good question. Thank you. Is that the only question we get?
No one else wants to ask
No.
one now.
Okay, I won't get anyone up if it's a question where I don't need to get you up. I won't. If it's a question, please ask.
And the fourth fear.
The fourth bit. Dave, non-league network.
Ask a question.
Great, it's a brilliant question though. Thank you.
Dave, when did you realise that you've got a talent for speaking then?
Um,
Probably.
So it's interesting. I've just changed my LinkedIn profile to say irritatingly good speaker. And part of that is a little bit of imposter syndrome because I know I can speak, but there's times where I'm like, yeah, but there's better people out there than me. But somebody complimented me. I did a keynote a couple of weeks ago in Leeds, and they went, "You're an irritatingly good speaker," because I couldn't pick fault with you, and that's a professional speaker. I realised in 2017 when I was asked to host an event that I really enjoyed it, and I went, actually, I can do this, but I need a little bit more training. So I went and had some training next year. So it's probably around that point, 2017, 2018. There is a correlation between knowing who I am. That's probably the biggest thing. Speaking's helped me to understand who I am. So it's that authenticity piece, throw up in your mouth at this point. But it's that authentic self. Be your authentic self, which is still the most useless piece of information ever. But once you start to know who you are and you start to use that as part of what you do, it makes sense. I just like this. I enjoy this. So yeah, it's probably about 2017, 2018.
Have you ever tanked one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Quite often.
It's tough, isn't it?
It is tough, but you learn more from stuffing it up, I think, than any other time. The analogy I use for speaking is it's a bit like making a clay pot. You can only make a clay pot when you've got the clay, you've put it on the wheel, you've had a go, and you've messed them up. But I've done all kinds of things. Normally, in fact, where have I tanked the most? It's one of the things I do stand-up comedy, so you wouldn't know, would you? Because I'm not funny. But I did a gong show in Leicester and was off in 3.5 minutes, and it was only 5 minutes, and I got to 3.5 minutes, but my material just wasn't for the audience, and it was a horrendous feeling, and I bristled over that for a good few minutes. So yeah, it's hard to. I've tanked plenty of times.
I think you have to.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Good question.
Another round of applause for David.